me and my sister, we both, if we see someone doing cocaine, we will both start crying and run out of the room. Like that's our physiological reaction. Neither of us have any memories as to why that is,
Yeah.
because our childhood was just so rough. So if you can imagine like what led to that physiological response, just how many times I was exposed to violence and in unstable behavior. And when you're really, really vulnerable as a kid and you're around people who are addicts who are not taking care of you, it builds like a pattern in your brain where you're like, anyone who is inebriated is unsafe.
Correct.
Anyone who is inebriated sends me into a PTSD flashback of my childhood and I don't want to be around it. So even just the acknowledgement of like, wow, this is a fun time and a lot of people enjoy it easily, but not everybody does. And like, I think I just had never even been validated. Like, hey, I see you. I've got you. Let's talk about safety. And, it's important, especially for women, like you said, because there's a lot that happens to women in these environments that's not okay.
Yeah. And I also think too, like there's two sides of that. Like I think hyper spiritual people tend to really avoid spaces where there can be like that kind of dark negative energy because they're like, I don't, I mean, obviously energetic hygiene is so important and it's so important to be mindful of who you're surrounding yourself with and you don't want to be, I don't really like going to bars. I could go to a bar and not drink, but I don't like the energy of going to a bar. When I walk into a bar, I feel darkness and heaviness around the physical space around the people. And I just as an intuitive can feel that. And it's the same thing when I go to these big shows and festivals, especially in Tulum, especially at these Zomna shows. It's a lot of dark energy and a lot of things that are going on that are not in alignment with who I am and who I be. And so having spiritual hygiene, being able to create, like I do like this energetic bubble around myself where I'm just like, I'm in my own fucking universe right here. And simultaneously, I feel like a part of my mission and my purpose in this world is to be in those spaces and show people what's possible just by being the way that I am. And so, not trying to not allow that energy to infiltrate my field, but allowing just my bright bubble of light to just emanate out. And man, I have to tell you, like, I had a crazy experience in Chicago a couple months ago. I was at a music festival that was like probably the heaviest drug use in a crowd I've ever experienced. It was like everywhere I looked, there was people doing all sorts of things, like to an extent I have never seen or experienced before. And it was very intense for me.